we need an we need an intro.
No!
We get like a 3, 2, 1, go. But
Yeah.
we need. This is the first time you've seen that because this is the first time you've been here before we went live.
No, I think it's the second or
Oh,
third time.
wow! Speaking of people who are late, he beat you
Well,
today.
he's an
What?
American. He's allowed to be late. They're allowed most things.
This was a holiday, June
What?
12th.
Well, I was gonna say, what holiday is it?
June 12th. What holiday is this?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
have
you
a,
already
like-
had Memorial Day like a week ago.
Hey,
did.
Saturday is Flag Day. I had to get my Flag Day preparations ready, so that's why I was late.
Flag Day. Is that a
Yeah.
holiday?
Whoa.
Or just
Matt, for a second there, went sideways and then came back.
Yeah, I was doing the full screen, and apparently it
Oh,
turned.
tilt your phone for a quick second. I mean, I don't know if this will work, but we could technically do that too. Oh, I can't. You can't change the orientation while you're live. Okay. On this software, we could go into an orientation to stream on like Instagram or something like that. I think you can stream on Instagram, so we could do the vertical view instead.
Whoa.
But I was going to try and change over, but it actually is disabled during live time, which makes sense because you're watching us on this direction, not this direct. You know, what I mean. You're watching us in the vertical and not the horizontal. No, the horizontal, not the vertical. Wow.
And thank you for watching us. Please
And thank you for watching us. Yes, Dave's here on time. That's we were just saying that just before, and he's like, I was saying we needed a countdown just before we went live because we see like 3, 2, 1, go, and then I was like, wait, but you've never seen that anyway. That's how we started our day, and I am happy to have both of my good friends here, myself. Oh, and these two as well. Yeah.
You yourself and yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I played this way. See, Dave
everyone
is on this
knows
side.
that everyone who's seen Jeff lives knows that he's mostly two persons in one.
Okay, Matt just showed us that he ate some more nuts. Take with that what you will, and now he has another empty container. Oh, he has
I
two
love
empty containers.
I love nuts. I just have to
Matt
say.
has eaten a lot of nuts this past few weeks.
You cannot get enough nuts.
Cashews, particularly.
I love to held nuts in my hand and then pop them in my mouth. They're so delicious. They're so delicious. But
Oh,
these make for beautiful Lego storage behind me. So not only do you get to eat the delicious cashews from Costco, but then you can make this. You too at home, ladies and gentlemen, could make your own beautiful Lego decanter display.
It is pretty cool.
With bricks and colors you rarely build with, or you just have a lot of. So there you
It
go.
I like the idea for sure. So how much does one of
Home
those?
Depot with Matthew.
How much does one of those containers actually cost?
I think they're 18 US.
And how long would
Cashews? I eat a lot of cashews.
Are these salted or unsalted?
They're lightly salted. So
Okay.
whenever I eat Asian food, so like if I get cashew chicken, I'm throwing like 3 times the number of cashews in. Or like I got some Mongolian beef. We have really good Chinese takeout that we traditionally get Sunday mornings, and even Mongolian beef, I'm going to throw a handful of cashews in there. So I might make a little ice cream sundae and get some butterscotch on vanilla, and I'm going to throw some cashews in. So like I'm a heavy consumer. I like them, and they're good snacks.
And we've already covered off the nut
I
jokes,
like
so,
cashew and it cannot lie. 100%
okay.
deny. When it pop those nuts into my mouth, I just go wild.
Blue is in chat. I believe, quite possibly, this is the former Mr. Blue. I believe.
Cool.
Just lost the Mister. Now just
It's
plain.
like, hello, Jeff and David. Hi, everyone. And how have you guys been? So I'm assuming, and I saw you join this week, Blue. So welcome or resubscribe. We've been well.
Cool.
Dave's in a new Lego room for the past little while, and slowly the wall is starting to get some color. Matt is building Grogu in a prom. And Dave is building a donut. No, he's building a pie. No, he's building a.
It's a round hockey rink. Very nice.
He's building a. What are you building, Dave?
Well, if you've been following me, you know that
You live in Montreal. You're too far away to follow.
I have a moon base layout, and for smaller shows, I have my star base layout, which is
Yeah.
like an orbital station. So right now, I'm building a 10 connector module. So I always wanted a round module.
Yeah.
So this is kind of round. So it has 8 connectors on the sides, and I'm gonna have one connector on top and one connector on the bottom. So I can connect 10 modules with this.
Oh yeah, because I was looking at it going, there's only 8 ports. How could that be a 10 connector? I was thinking, how did you build a 10-sided circle and have it mathematically work out? And then I'm realizing, oh, you're cheating. It's not really 10 connectors in
Well,
the ring.
metric
It's
system.
metric.
It's 10 connectors because you have 10 ports. They don't have to be all on the same side or all on the same angle.
Yeah, I understand that. I just when you first said it, I was like, how does that math work in my head? I was trying to figure out how do you get the angles right in Lego to do 10 sides. So that's
No,
why I was like,
the only that's I had to work out the math, but
yeah,
with trial and error. But if you use these wing pieces,
yeah, it works.
it works. You can actually have like a 10 long you can add a 1x10 with
Yeah,
inch
okay.
pieces, and it
Mhm.
works out. And
Yeah.
you have like 10 here, 10 here, 10 here,
Yeah.
10 here. So
Yeah, so
it
it's
works out
nicely evenly
perfectly.
spaced. There's
Yep.
no air gaps as much. Well, there's might be a few, but
Well, I'm using inch pieces, and you can if you can see that there's like a I don't know if you can see it with the camera. You can see that there's a gap here.
oh yeah,
In
yeah, okay. I was more referring to maybe in the floor itself.
Yeah,
Like
but no,
they're
not on the floor. The floor is perfectly there. There's
yeah.
no gap on the floor, but there is some gap between like where the hinges are.
Hmm.
There's like a gap there.
And it is
So
indeed Mr. Blue. So welcome
so
back.
I don't know how I'm gonna fix this, or if I'm gonna fix this, because this thing is gonna have a roof, and with all the modules connected, it's not gonna be like there's not light coming out from the
Yeah.
modules, so it's gonna be pretty
Yeah, yeah,
dark. So I don't
yeah.
think it's gonna.
You won't see light shining through the gaps
Yeah.
type thing. That's what you're worried about, yeah. I discovered something. I don't know if discover is the right word, but I had a base plate. I had like a base plate sitting on my table, because I had tiles on it at one point for the space display. And I put a brick separator down on it and pushed it in, and I didn't really realize that they lock in nicely.
Oh,
So now I kind of leave this on my desk, and if I need a brick separator, I just grab one off, do what I need, and plug it back on. So I always know where they are, and I'm like, oh, this is. And now I'm actually thinking. I'm going to turn the camera for a second. Now I'm kind of thinking maybe I stick this on my shelf here or something like that, so that I have a little repo of brick separators.
does work.
It does work. You didn't believe me?
Well, I had to try it for myself.
I know. Sorry, I just realized my camera was tilted when I turned it back. So yeah. We should probably intro this weekly chat for 219, getting higher in those numbers. For June 18th, June 11th, 18th is next week. I don't know why I said next week's chat already, but we're going to be talking about One Piece, which I don't know that either of you guys have seen. Have you guys seen One Piece on Netflix?
Nope.
No? Okay. One Piece and Lego's Bricklink Designer Program raking them in about 39 million Canadian in the last 24 hours ish, because it's been
Pocket change. Pocket change.
Yeah. Remember our last time we talked about this? We talked about how much the individual designers were getting.
Yep.
Lego has changed the rules, and there's more than 30,000 sets. And I figured out the math to calculate how many sets there will be, because it's easy enough to do. And we'll talk into a little bit. Take a guess how much, if someone sells all of their sets, take a quick guess how much money they can make.
The designer?
The designer.
$1 billion.
Not $1 billion. But
$1 million.
He's a lot closer. He's still a little low, but he's a lot closer.
Man, I need to make an award-winning design. Then.
Yeah. I think it was 1.2 million.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
1.2 million.
The
Wow.
guy who built the black and red castle.
He's gonna make mint.
The Transylvania castle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
why don't
one.
you just just
I was just realizing I the next time this program comes up, I should probably throw something together. Probably in the castle theme because that seems to be the one that people love.
Yeah.
I actually have an idea, and
tell us.
I know. Well, I'm not. I'll tell you guys offline, but I'm not going to tell you online. Blue, my sister, is doing wonderful. My niece got married earlier this year, so we were down there for a wedding and stuff and that. So
Weddings. I love weddings. Rum all around.
I did miss a family reunion this weekend because I was my son was in cadet related stuff all weekend, so that kind of sucked. But because I actually do like
cadet sucks.
No, not cadets. I'm missing a family reunion. But
oh, come on, you don't have to pretend that you like family.
Yeah.
reunion.
I don't mind going to see my cousins.
You don't have to pretend that you like cadets either.
I actually I know my cousins well because we would visit them fairly often, like 2 or 3 times a year, and they're across Ontario. The unfortunate part is all their kids, because I don't see them enough. I don't recognize their kids. I don't really know all their kids and stuff. So now they're what second cousins, I guess. So
Yeah. Well, you're not alone, Jeff. I have lots of cousins. I know all of my cousins, but I don't know the names of their kids either. So
yeah. So, but yeah. So we'll talk about that stuff today. Why don't we do a quick round table? We'll start with Dave kind of showed us already what he's doing. Is there anything else you wanted to throw in there?
No, because I'm sorting, but I'm building, and it's kind of a mess right now.
Yeah, you're a mess. I agree. Oh wait, sorry, that's not what you meant. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I also got this pin.
Ooh.
I got this from AliExpress, so it's not an official in any capacity, but it's a cool one, and I think it's a good quality pin. So yeah.
Cool. Axel, welcome. Hi, Canadians and Southern Boy. And Blue, Mr. Blue is saying hi. I'm going to say Mr. Blue just for now to reintroduce you to the group.
We like Mr. Blue.
Maybe it's Monsieur Blue.
Monsieur Blue? Well, it was MR. I wonder, is Dave in French? How would you do short form for Monsieur? Is it still MR?
No, it's just M.
Just M.
And
is that right? Okay.
Yeah, just M, and you put a point next to it.
Yeah. So what's Madame then? Is it also
Madame would be it would be MME.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, I remember that from French class.
That seems like that would be the abbreviation for Mademoiselle, though. Like to me, just as an English person.
No, Mademoiselle would be MLLE because you get the first letter and the last 3 letters.
Interesting.
So when I lived in DC, I worked for the embassy in Morocco, and their 2 official languages are Arabic and French, and so. I saw lots of documents in French, but so at one point I probably actually knew what the French abbreviations were because our social secretary would plan the layout at events and write everyone's names out, and it was. I had been working there for 3 months, and a colleague who was trying to be friendly pulled me aside and said, "People think that you're rude." And I was horrified.
You're American.
I said, well, I was like, why do people think I'm rude? Like I try to be polite to everybody that I meet. Like I just was utterly shocked to hear that people thought I was rude. And she said, well, when you come in, you just go down to your office and shut the door, and everybody else walks around and says, bonjour, and they greet everyone, and then they go to work. And I was like, that's a thing?
Well, that's actually a French thing, because right now I'm reading a lot and seeing a lot of documents about Paris, because I'm going to Paris for my vacation, and that's one of the things that they say you should do when you go into a shop. You absolutely need to say bonjour to whoever is holding that shop, the
Yeah,
shopkeeper. Because that's the polite thing to do. You go in, you say bonjour. So
yeah. So I started doing that. I was like, I had come from an office where everybody was under a lot of pressure. There was a lot of time to get things done. We were understaffed, and so everybody was trying to do like too much. And so the way that you were polite to your colleague was, don't bother them, because
yeah, don't bother them because
Mhm.
they need to get stuff done. And yeah,
stay out of their
totally.
way so they're ready for the 8:30 staff meeting, so they don't get embarrassed in front of the boss. So that was like being a polite coworker, was get out of the way. And at the embassy I was viewed as rude. And so it was just a cultural thing. I was like, yeah, I can walk around and say bonjour. Like, I can't roll my R's, but I can say, yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
just to let you know, at my work right now, at Hitachi Energy, we actually get a free subscription, hard to say in English, but we get a free subscription to the Culture Wizard website, which is a
Okay.
website that explain these things, these cultural differences, and you
Yep.
can actually put in like the countries from of the people that you work with if you're like a team manager or
okay.
working in an
Yep.
international team, and you can the website will actually give you hints about these things and say no, this country, the culture is mostly driven to performance. So if you're in that type of team, or you're working with these colleagues, like Matt said, don't
Mhm.
bother them. Don't uh, keep keep your stuff to performance and work related. And other cultures would be no. You need to relate to people. You need to so engage with them on other subject than just work. And
Yeah.
So my third or fourth year at GGC, they brought in the summer. They had this from a Canadian. He was connected with a school in Edmonton, and he would come down and do like a 2-day workshop on cross cultural boundaries. And and for us as teachers, it was like not everybody learns the same way. So when you're teaching, you can't I'm very good at memorizing things, but I can't assume that other people learn by memorizing. So like I
yeah,
have to teach to people who have more than one way of learning things. And that was but anyways, he had lived in Japan for like 15 years, and he ended up getting a job there, dealing with teaching corporate lessons and like how to do cross cultures, because Japanese culture is very different from Western
Mhm.
culture.
yes, definitely.
And he got called in for this Dutch company, and the Dutch company was hiring all these local Japanese people, but they would quit after like 1 to 3 months, and they couldn't understand like why all of these Japanese people were quitting. Like they paid them a fair wage, and they were utterly confused. Like they just couldn't understand it. So he came in and he said, well, in Dutch culture is very direct. And so you can tell somebody, I think that hat looks ugly on you. And as long as you're being completely honest, like that's not mean in Dutch culture. You're just being very honest, and that's their
Yeah.
style. They're very direct. And then he's explaining, if you tell it to a Japanese person, they think that you hate them, and they think that you are telling them to leave or we're going to fire you. And they said
Yeah.
the directness of the culture is freaking out your Japanese employees, because they don't understand that that's not offensive in your culture, but in their culture it's just way too
And
much.
it's not work related. So
Right.
they're
Yeah.
telling you that they don't like your hat, but it's not work related.
so
Um,
so he
sorry,
was it was just really fun to hear some of those experiences. So
just catching up on chat here quickly, just because messages are going back and forth. Matt, you look a little green. Are you okay?
yeah, so this is I'm now wearing a Canadian hat, but it's not American. This is a Mexican baseball league, and
Cool.
Oh, cool.
it's the Parraces. It's the Parrots of Pueblo, which is in central Mexico. So it's in the Mexican Baseball League, and I just thought it was a particularly beautiful
Pretty
design.
cool. Yeah.
And it's actually
Very
made
cool.
by
Oh wow.
a Chicago company. There's a lot of Mexican Americans that live in Chicago, And the Chicago Hat Company does like all of the Mexican baseball teams. And so I was just scrolling through. They had a sale, and I'm like, click into basket. Yes, I like that. So I am very green.
That's pretty unique, because I'm betting like not a lot of Americans or Canadians do have that hat. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I've got another one I haven't broken out yet, but it's the Toros, which is the Bulls, and it's a great hat. And so they have some great logos. I mean, Mexican baseball is almost as old as American baseball, so it's one of those sports that crossed the border and became very popular in Latin America. You know, obviously, there's lots of star players that come out of Latin America today, but this color matches our house, and so I've been working in the front yard, and I'll actually, what's that?
Like Slytherin, you mean, or?
No, the color of our house. So,
I know, I'd like to do that.
so
that is a Slytherin.
Last summer, our house needed to be repainted, so there were spots where the paint was chipping off, and it was a
Okay.
Our old house color was like medium nougat and tan.
Yeah, I was going to say your house. When you said that, I'm like, your house is in green.
It is,
but
now.
I didn't go there this year, so
That's
yeah, okay.
Right. So you were at the hotel, but so this is kind of the base color of our house, and then the kind of lime green that you see it, edging this. This is the trim color now. So it's a dark green with a lime trim. So this hat actually goes perfect with the repainted house colors. And I was out front working, and so it just so happened that the hat matched the house too. But yeah, so these are my green frames. So I got these frames from Vooglam, and they're super cheap. So I have them in black and I have them in green. So
and white.
It's not easy being green. I just got.
You have them in white too, don't you?
The black ones have a white edge, but they're.
Oh, okay. I thought it was white with black. Okay, I thought it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't pay attention enough. Sorry.
I know. Look into my.
Blue is saying hello to you too. He didn't get a chance to say that earlier.
Hello, Blue.
Matt, you'll love European restaurants. I don't know if that was more directed to Dave versus Matt, but
well, I've eaten.
You've been to Europe.
It just depends. The service is very different. So in America, your waiter is supposed to, they keep circling back to your table, but the European style is unless you call them over, they leave. Stever's.
Hey, Stever. We don't see you here that often. Yeah, sorry.
When you ask for ice cubes in your drink in Europe, they give you a cup with 2 ice cubes because you said ice cubes, so it's more than 1, but they don't give you more than 2. I had no idea that,
and there's no ice in the water. So
I had no idea that
if you ask for pitcher of water, they're just going to give you tap water,
right?
Room temperature.
I didn't know that this was is it a Canadian thing to serve water with ice cubes in it, or is that just a U.S. thing?
We always have water with ice cubes.
Yeah,
you have.
I think it's a North American thing.
Okay, so it's definitely not a European thing. Like they'll be like, "Oh, that's right, you're American. You want ice cubes."
Matt is more of a Huffleclaw.
I'm not
Hufflepuff.
I've never read the books,
Huffleclaw.
and I found the movies actually to be a little boring. I actually fell asleep watching Harry Potter movies, so I don't know the houses. So I apologize. Yeah. That's one.
Slytherin's the bad house. Slytherin's like the bad guys, but they're not really bad.
I knew that. But the other ones, I don't really know the distinctions between. So.
Anyway. Tron 1974, welcome. Our Western New York lug is putting on an event in Corning, New York, the weekend before October. Any chances anyone you'd be interested in displaying? I'm in. The weekend before October, I'm actually in Denmark, so I won't be able to attend. But weekend before Halloween,
I would love to go
in
to
October,
New York, but it's during the school year. It's really hard for me. I can't. Yeah. It's just really hard to leave.
Weekend before Halloween.
I would have gone too, but I'm actually going to.
It's the end of October. Sorry. Okay.
I'm actually going to a concert that weekend. So.
Yeah.
I want to go to the Corning Glass Museum. I've heard it's amazing. So,
anyone is welcome. Sorry, Tron 1974. If you haven't done it, reach out to Toralug. They're the lug that's probably closest. You might have already done that, but
or reach out to Kellogg also.
Kellogg,
not the cereal.
Yeah, QUE lug. Which is the Quebec lug, or Parliament, because
Yeah.
I don't know where Corning is. Is Corning closer to Kingston, or is it closer to Buffalo?
I think it's closest to Rochester, but I don't think Rochester has
Well,
a
so
log.
that's kind of in the middle. So I mean, the Ottawa guys should come down too.
I'm assuming they probably already reached out to Buffalo Lug, but
Yeah, there's them too. And Blue is up in New York, or near New York, in Connecticut.
so it's south.
Oh, it's south.
south
Okay.
of Rochester.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually drove pretty close to where you live when I came back from Toronto. So, because I cut into that area to pick up counties. We didn't go to Corning, but we went almost all the way to Corning before we cut down to Pennsylvania. But
Yeah.
I hope
it's
to go to
close
Corning someday.
Pennsylvania.
As a tiny kid, my dad was at a military training center in Schenectady. So I've traveled through upstate New York, but I was 0 years old. So I don't remember.
He's part of the Rochester Lug. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it does have Rochester does have its own. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think you might know Janie and Brandon.
Yes.
Tron. No, not you, Tron.
Not you, Matt.
They're up in Utica. I think they've done stuff with you guys. So they have 85 active members. Wow, that has gotten big. Because I remember back when what was their old lug called now? Brandon's old lug. Luckney. That they had like 7 or 8 members at some point. I remember. But is there a Pueblo? Oh, is there a Pueblo lug? I don't know.
Pueblo Lug.
Maybe.
Probably they would just use the Mexico City lug.
Yeah. I don't know if it. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot.
Yeah, I know. There's some Mexican clubs, but I don't know their names.
Yeah.
I've heard about.
Pueblo's very close to Mexico City, so my
Yeah.
guess is that people would probably just be part of Mexico City lug.
Yeah, we're huge now. Cool. And yes, you know Brandon and Janie. Cool. Yeah, Janie's ours. We want to claim her back, but unfortunately, she's now American.
I'm
But
pretty
living
sure,
in America, not American.
Living in America.
Pretty sure-
Ow!
didn't Tron come out in 1979 or 80? So I'm assuming that's not the Tron
Probably.
74 is like the birth year, maybe. Or
Yeah,
something.
probably. That was my thought too. I don't know when it came out. I wasn't really thinking that, but I just assume automatically if I see a year that it's probably someone's birth year. But oh, the Pueblo thing was a joke about the hat. Steve was saying.
Yeah.
So,
I figured.
We got that.
well, we didn't mention it, so maybe.
Don't make fun of me.
But I just said, oh, so obviously I didn't know. So Matt, yeah, hat. You're building Grogu's pram. What you're going to start googling it, building it.
I'm done with bag 1 already. See, look, it's his guts.
Oh, there you go. He's got guts.
Does it have a frog in it?
Not yet. We'll see.
It will. It should have multiple
'Cause
frogs.
it
Or
should
frog-like
have- It should have
creatures.
a frog in his gut.
Wow, 60, 80 people in your monthly meeting, 150.
That would be
unique
a
people
nice
coming. That's a good
Easter
size
egg.
log.
I'm glad they were unique people. I hate it when the people are merged together.
Yeah, 1974 is the year. You know, I'm going to throw this up for now, just because we have a lot of chat going on. So, and this is a nice feature in Restream that we've
Cool.
switched over to. So, I mean, it's kind of cut off a little bit by the Canadian Brick Builder logo, but I can't figure out if I can move that thing. Anyway, I guess we don't pay enough to do that. Green hat, green Jedi. What else is green? I don't even know where to go with that. But
I
We're
built a
green
green
with
building.
envy. We're
green.
and Lego is making a lot of green.
Well, yeah, Lego's definitely making a lot of green. Maybe we should see. That would be a great way to segue into the news.
Segway! Oh,
What?
Segway there.
I haven't said anything about what I've been doing, so I guess we could segue into the news. You guys don't care about it?
No, it's not a segue. It's a hint. Of
A
what-
hint. Yes.
It's a
Lego's definitely
teaser.
making
It's
lots
a
of green.
teaser.
Teaser.
Lots and lots of green.
Comedy
I actually got some photos. We can. I've been doing a lot of different things this week. I mentioned last week I was outing a bunch of sets to my store that Janie had given to me to sell off, and I opened my store yesterday. because Canada Post is still potentially going to strike, but they're still running. So I'm like, you know what? My store's been closed for like 20-ish days.
I mean, why don't you just like leave it open until the strike actually happens, or you just didn't want to get an order?
I didn't want something to get stuck in the mail.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about arbitration, which means they can't strike because they're being forced to work while the arbitration's going on and stuff. So, so I opened my store yesterday and I already sold a set and then shipped it out already. So
if you open your store up just to Canadians, I mean, presumably Canadians are going to know about this potential strike. I would think that would limit.
Well, and I have a banner at the top of my store saying Canada Post could go on strike. Your package may get held up in the mail.
But as a teacher, I will tell you, people never read the syllabus.
Oh, I know that. I don't read those things either. But anyway. Tron says he generally,
lines.
Tron says he generally watches our show the day after. Well, awesome. Thank you for watching.
Sweet. Now you get the live.
You're one of the, under 100 usually. I think we have usually about 50 or 60 to 80 people watching each week. Not live. Like right now we got 5. But
someday we'll be triple digits. I mean, we'll be the big time.
It will be big. We'll be big.
Stever takes a bow, and in doing so, I wrecked the segue.
Oh no!
Anyways, so yeah, I sold a set today, so that was pretty nice because, I mean, it doesn't really put much money in my pocket, but I mean, at least it's I'm able to help Janie out, which is the important part. So I've been doing that. I've been working on.
We like Janie. We like her helping.
We do. 8 Infant.
Is she still in Canada, or did she go back to New York?
I think I don't know. She hasn't messaged. I think she's still in Canada.
Okay.
Y'all caught up on the Magna for One Piece? No, I haven't watched. These guys haven't watched it or done anything with it. I watched the Netflix series. I'm not a big manga fan, so just more than that, I just don't have time to watch it. I've watched a few things with my kid on Netflix, but anyway. So yeah, I've been working on the Classic Space Mosaic. I'll throw some pictures up in a minute because I basically got all the figures built now. I'm just waiting for the more dots to come in, which should get here next week. At least most of them. Some of them will be in a month because of I don't know why, but trans brown and trans black dots are not standard parts, or our standard parts are not bestsellers.
I think because they're brand new, aren't they? Isn't that a new edition?
They're trans brown, not really. Trans black's been around for a couple of years now, I would say.
I mean, as a dot though, I think
they've been around for a while. Trans black definitely came out last year.
Okay.
Yeah, not One Piece. Yeah, we're more about Lego. But Lego's coming out with One Piece sets, so if you're interested in Lego at all, who knows? Maybe you might be interested in that.
That's why so many people are in the chat. We got all the One Piece fans showing up.
Do we all go to Brick Fair? Matt has been to Brick Fair recently in the past few years. I think you were talking about it going this year.
Probably not now. We sat down and went through the budget, and I was like, I already spent all the money on the flower bed and hats. So I'm reversing. At this point, I'm not planning to go, but I will say I'm a big fan.
is storing money on the flower bed.
Yeah, I had to buy 500 bricks and then like 10 bags of potting soil, and then I have probably already spent $200 on flower bulbs
and a container of milk and a stick of butter and a loaf of bread.
Yeah, it's and the edge trim thing was like another 70. So like,
okay,
it's when I actually added it up, I was like, oh boy, yeah.
But if you're going to Brick Fair, you'd be spending that money on Lego parts anyhow to build whatever mock you're working on to go there, right?
Well, I would take my mosaic. So I mean, I wouldn't have said, but the one thing, if I did go to Brick Fair, is that I have had very good luck at the yard sale, and I'm talking like hundreds of dollars of luck selling things at the yard sale. Yeah. So that would be if I do end up changing my mind. I have till July 7th to buy a ticket to enter. But if I do go, I'm going to have to load up the vehicle with sets to sell to pay for
Yeah.
part of the trip.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's something else I did, and I'll got a picture of that as well. Doing some stuff to make sales easier if I go to do yard sales and stuff at Canadian events. But sorry, I just read Stever's 39 million for a single piece.
Well, you know,
I was thinking of going somewhere with that, like when I was originally putting the name of the chat up, but then I was like, no. Anyways, okay, so I've been working on. You know what? Let's just share this. Hold on. I'm going to do a little switcheroo here because there's now a way to switcheroo. Replace with.
Not the old switcheroo.
Hold on. Okay, I'll just do it this way. Boom.
Quality of this production is incredible.
It is incredible, isn't it?
Live music. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, we have live music.
Yeah, Dave provides the live music.
Yes,
No, sometimes.
I'm a one-man band.
You're one man.
He's a one-man reverb effect.
I managed to get some more 48 base plates. I've got a little stack of them now, which is nice. And they're older ones, so that they're good. So I managed to, or I basically have built another row of the Space Hanger. I'm actually currently on my table. I'll show you in a few moments. I'm currently working on this piece right here because I'm trying to build some walls up because I want this all to be nicely closed off. So I've been working on that. A couple of shots of that just so that I had pictures of it. I was grabbing. I started working on the mosaic, and my first thing with the mosaic was, in order to add 3 new class of space guys coming, or that are like now available, I need to actually go a row higher with the panels. And so my first test was, will my easels that I have 2 of, will they actually fit one more piece on top? And thankfully they do, barely. So it's like, thank God. Because otherwise I'd have to either reconfigure the entire thing to go vertically or do something. I don't know. So yeah, that was my first test. And then I started working on recoloring some of the guys, because blue baby and the classic blue color guy weren't the right shades. So I took the blue one and I recolored them to basically took off one shade of blue, or switched the palette. We had like bright light blue in here, and this is all Janie helped me out with color theory and stuff, because I brought all my dots to her place, like my bins of dots, and we just basically went through every character to make sure they were all the right palette. So same with pink, got a recolor.
Janie's the artist.
Janie is the artist. That's 100% true. My next thing was to remove all the areas, the black areas here where other figures are going, pulling off all the old dots so I can put new ones in. During the weekend, I managed to drop one of my bins of dots. Luckily, it fell lid down, and a few dots fell out. But I was able to kind of grab the lid and get most of them up, so I didn't have to, like the ones that are on the tray here were the ones that were on the floor, and the ones that are in the yellow tray were just, I dumped this thing into it. So I spent a good 4 hours resorting 17 different dot colors, which was not that fun, but needed to be done. I started using the tweezers, and that started a whole conversation in our Canadian Brick Builder chat about tweezers and how awesome they are. But I ended up quickly thereafter switching over to actually putting them on a chat. Oh wow, that little light behind above your head, David, almost looked like it was glimmering off of the tweezers. I'm like, what the heck? So the other thing I did at Bricks in the Six,
the magic tweezers.
The magic tweezers. Ooh. At Bricks in the Six, no Benny, because I was doing the classic space colors, so I didn't want to go with a Benny in that case. But at Bricks in the Six last year, I had brought some figures to sell, and I had the brilliant idea of, I've got a stack of paper that is like printed on once and was garbage. Instead of recycling it, I keep them for scrap paper. So I ended up taking all of my figures and taping them with price labels to the paper, which is kind of good because I could just pull the paper out and set it down, but the papers don't flex that well, all this stuff. So I decided to actually switch over to use well, okay, we'll get back to Uline. Okay, I'll come back to that. I switched over to use cardboard. We'll get back to that in a moment. These are not in order. These are in order of my life, which is hectic. I requested a
The
Uline
order
catalog.
of my life is so hectic. I
I
keep messing up. It's all a mess. I'm broke.
You're
Okay.
something. I ended up ordering a Uline catalog because with having a whole bunch of sets to ship, I need to get some boxes. And also, going back to the Mosaic, because it's now going to be one panel higher, I actually have to split the Mosaic down the middle to do panels like 3x3 panels instead of 3x5. Because 3x5 fits in a box, but 3 panels by 6 panels won't fit in a box. It's too big. So I was, and that's the reason, Sincere, I was looking for a 16x16 box because
Yes,
that'll hold
but
the
not
15 by
not
15
a
panels.
cardboard box.
Sorry, it's not what?
Not a cardboard box.
Well, I don't want a cardboard box. Canadian Tire has a 16 by 16 by 12 moving box for like $3. So I'm just gonna buy one of those because that's gonna do me perfectly fine. I was hoping to have something plastic just so it's more durable, and if it gets wet, it's not gonna
Because
like.
over here in Quebec, I know that the Rona hardware store sells, and that's what I use for my Moonbase modules. Actually, they're selling a 16 by 16 by 16
Yeah,
box.
yeah, and
So
that's I saw those as well.
so
But yeah,
I basically I use them for my Moonbase module because I basically turn them on the side and
yeah,
just slide the module in,
modules in.
tape the
Yep.
box, and I'm good to go. So
Yeah. And also Uline, like I said, cardboard boxes, and they every time I search for something, I usually get a Uline result.
yeah.
If you're looking for like supplies for tape and stuff, so it's like, you know what? Maybe I'll look into them and see if they're even worth it.
So you fell
Spoiler,
for the reference.
well, it doesn't cost anything to get a Uline catalog sent to your house. You just have to sign up and request it. So it doesn't look like the savings are much, but I'll have to see when if I place an order. I'm not sure yet if I will. Anyway, internet update. Totally forgot about this. My
Internet update.
for those of you who haven't been watching for a while, I've had horrible internet related issues for the past month. Well, since January, February, or December.
Years.
I've had
Years.
cable. My cable has basically died on me. I was getting like 1 megasecond at the end of February, March. They had put a new
Years.
cable in,
Years.
and they weren't able to mount it to the wires properly. They weren't able to suspend it from the house because
Years.
the power lines are too close. Anyways, I switched over to. I work for TELUS. I switched over to Bell Fiber. Or I switched over. I wanted to get TELUS Fiber installed, which runs on the Bell network. So they came to my house to do that. They looked at the pole that the fiber cable was on and said, "Yeah, we can't climb that pole because it's hollow and it's not safe." 2 months later, I finally I was running on my cell phone for like a good month for sharing data. It's awesome, man. And then like a couple months later, I finally called Bell directly and asked if I could or like put an order in for internet from Bell. Surprisingly, Bell comes out. They have a guy who's experienced. He climbs up on the pole the different way, like puts the ladder on the wire so it's pushing up against the pole so that the wire can't fall off or can't disconnect. Hooks me up with fiber, hence the fiber connection in my wall here in the Bell modem. So I stayed with them for 2 months. 2 months has finally expired. They were supposed to come out last week to do it, and the Bell order never got processed properly. And I actually there's a description as to what happened. So Bell never came out to disconnect because they have to do a little disconnect and put a little dongle on the end of the cable so TELUS can connect in to the fiber. Roll back to yesterday where they redid the request. I was upstairs working the entire day yesterday, waiting for Bell to arrive. My TELUS installer had called to say, "Have they come yet?" And I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "But do you mind calling the TELUS head office and finding out where they could be, or if they are scheduled to come?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I can do that." So he calls the TELUS office. He messages me back and says, "Yeah, there's been a mess up. We're trying to get Bell to come out to your house." So working for TELUS, I ended up having a guy. I reached out to one of the guys that's in that department, who I'd been previously talking to when the whole snafu happened months ago. And Bell has marked my poll as unsafe in their system. So every time they come in, every time a request comes in, the guy who processes the request sees the address, sees the unsafe poll, and cancels it, even though they don't know that the fiber is already in my house because I went a different way and got it done. Anyways, 84 years later, because Steve was saying 84 years ago.
84 years later.
Bell, I have fiber now, and I'll have another picture in a minute that'll show this. Again, these aren't in order. My kid, I mentioned earlier, is in cadets. He's the head of the cadets.
Wow, he can really grow a beard.
He can, yeah. No, this is so. So on Sunday was their end of year ceremony.
Unlike Jeff.
Hey, I've got a picture of me with a good sized beard on. I'll have to go back and grab that one day. But Sunday was the end of the year ceremony, and then yesterday night was the change of command. Every 3 years, the cadet program, they change the commanding officer, so the adult that's running it. They switch out every 3 years to keep things fresh and stuff. So last night was his last event as a commanding officer, and in October my son's out of cadets as well at the end of October because he turns 19, and you're not allowed to be a cadet after the age of 18. So anyways, when I came home after that last night, I worked on some mosaics on this class of spatial mosaic. I started adding the dark turquoise. There are black spots in this figure because there's parts that I have to order. And then this morning I did the light blue, again missing parts due to lack of parts, and then I did gold as well, and I've actually added the tiles. Well, I've rested the tiles on top for those characters. And there is a panel missing behind. You can kind of see the other panel back here with blue and gray. It's kind of leaning behind because I don't have enough room on my fireplace to put them all side by side. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I placed an order this morning for 2,000 plus parts. 1,000 of that was 999 of them were black 1x1 rounds because I have to fill in the whole top row here. Going back to, sorry, this is long. Anyways, going back to
that's here on the wall. Going
back to my minifigures on sheet of paper, I've now stuck them to cardboard. So and I've numbered them all. So now if I get an order in for one of the figures, I can say, oh, it's on card 7. Pull that out, pull the figure off, put it back in, and it's now saving me a lot more time than the original thing where it was like, oh, it's in the 8th page underneath the pile of other pages. It was just a pain in the butt. So that was what I was working on as well. Oh yeah, and here's my current setup. Because Bell can't come, because a technician can't come into my house, the TELUS guy convinced the Bell person, the customer service rep, to allow to open up or to turn on the light again because it's fiber, so it's just a light coming in. So my TELUS hub, my TELUS fiber box is currently network connected to the Bell fiber box. On the TELUS box, I get all my all the authentication is done there. So I'm logged in as a TELUS client, and then from there it goes to the Wi-Fi router. So I now have 3 devices sitting up on a shelf with like way too many power cords because I had to extend. Anyways, it's a pain in the butt, and this is the temporary solution that's probably going to be there forever until Bell comes out and fixes the damn pole behind my house, which they have no need to do. Like, there's no rush to do it because
it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. So
never going to happen. 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 Never happen.
Okay. Anyway, I had to let you finish.
Where's the beaver cage where the beavers pedal to power your internet? I'm disappointed.
There was that little round. Dave's gone down the beaver trail, and yeah, I'm not even going to touch that one.
Okay.
not going to.
I'm
Anyway,
here for comic relief. So
let's hop into the news. We'll switch back over to this view, I think, for the news because it shows that's a little better. All right,
This week in the news.
that is a cool microphone for that. Stever, yes, please. Now add Futron, Blacktron, Mtron, Ice Planet, Spirus. Not to mention all the current classics, all the current space characters. I actually debated doing one for each of them, but I mean, luckily, Futron, Blacktron, Mtron, they've got a few torsos now, but like Blacktron would just be the same.
Blacktron's there, you just can't see it because it blends in with the space background.
This is true. Maybe I could put a few stars in the background
or you can put them on Mars. Then you would have like a nougat background.
But then we have Mars. But then we have Mars Attacks too, or not Mars Attacks, Mars Mission. Then we have to do all those guys too. Anyway,
it's a never-ending star.
Going down the Beaver Trail is Dana here. Why didn't that show up? I clicked on it. There, going down the Beaver Trail is Dana here. No, that would be the Raccoon Trail. Different than the Beaver Trail. Just saying. All right. Let's start with the news. There isn't a lot of news this week, thankfully, because I've been rambling for far too long. First up, we have the new ideas item that hit 10K, which is My Neighbor Totoro. It's
what?
My Neighbor Totoro.
Isn't it Totoro?
Totoro? I don't know. I don't watch the show. Again, don't watch a lot of manga and anime. Or the Disney, what's that? Studio Ghibli. Yeah, thank you. I was trying to think. I just thanked myself, my brain, for reading the words on the screen that says Studio Ghibli. Anyway, so yeah, this is built by Bricasso 99031. 10K supports on Lego Ideas. The build is based on the iconic Hayao Masuka Studio Ghibli movie. Features Chibi Totoro, Chew Totoro, and Totoro standing at the bus stop. So, are there any? Oh, there's a couple other shots of them. They're back ends because you got to show their back ends. All right, next up, there was a game festival last week as well called Summer Game Fest 2025. Lego announced a couple of new titles coming out. So the first one being Lego Voyagers, and I haven't had a chance to actually read this, so this will be my first time looking at this. So
I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
It's a collaboration with the Lego Group, Light Brick Studio, and Annapurna Interactive, and the game's called Lego Voyagers. It's a creative co-op adventure game that will be available on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch and PC via Steam and Epic Games. There is a trailer for it. I haven't watched it, but Lego Voyager is a two-player co-op Lego play experience where players of all ages embark on
things in advance, dude.
Do people know who Annapurna is?
Embark on a journey full of platforming challenges and puzzles, all while playing as iconic Lego bricks. Oh, so you're playing as a Lego brick type character instead of a minifig. And as to what you guys said, Dave, did you just hear me talk about everything that I've done in the past week? I don't have time to watch a video about a video game. Jeez. And Matt, I forget what you said.
You're the news anchor. We're just like Matt's the comic.
I'm the news anchor. You guys are just the anchors.
We're the two chimps on the couch.
Slowing us down. No, it's joking.
I said, does everybody know who Annapurna is in that announcement?
No, I do not. Lego also announced.
It's the native term for Mount Everest, Annapurna.
Okay.
Really?
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Knapp.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay. We return to our regularly scheduled program.
Professor Matt here.
Steve
this is supposed to be educational.
Steve was saying he figured Dana would take in all mid-sized fuzzy animals. This is true. I don't know if beavers and raccoons would get along that well. And a cat bus would be cool for the Studio Ghibli set that we were talking about earlier. I don't know what the cat bus is, but sounds cool.
I'm in.
All right. Lego Party was the other game that was announced at the Game Fest. This is a collaboration between Lego Group, SMG Studios, and Fictions.
Is he okay?
That's a good question. Yes, he's perfectly fine. Sorry. Anyways, lost my train of thought. Thanks, Dave. The game will feature a challenging zone and 60 minifigures from various LEGO sets, including LEGO Pirates, Space, Ninjago, and objects. The objective is to get the most gold bricks, and it will be available again on the PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam. I muted Dave, so if he did say anything during that, we didn't hear it. Still can't hear it. Can you unmute yourself? I'm curious.
Wow, it's very quiet.
It is. It's nice, isn't it? There, he's unmuted. He's not actually saying anything, of course, but he was unmuted.
The host
There's-
unmuted your mic.
There's a couple of screenshots here of some of the gameplay. The whole gold brick objective has always been fun in the LEGO games, trying to get all the gold bricks and stuff. So this one could be an interesting one for kids. And they've got some cool creatures and stuff. Little pirate ship islands and the
Cool
Ninjago
cats.
area and the space set area space.
Space.
With a space hot dog
Space.
diner.
Space.
Ooh, castle ish. Maybe
Castle.
more maybe for Fantasyland. Snakes and ladders? That's kind of cool.
You have to enter the maw of the snake. Ooh,
And then puzzle and
very
so it's
scary.
puzzle type game.
Oh.
Looks like some kind of space-based game here too.
Space.
Steve got to space before you did, though, just for the record. All right. I'm not sure if this is interesting to anybody, but Rebrickable has had a mat that you can have on your tabletop for many years. A few of us have a version that we got at Brickworld Chicago a few years ago as well. This one actually looks a little more interesting. This is version 2.0, so they've added a lot more to it. I do like all the color grades at the top. Assuming it's color accurate, that would be even better. Let me just scroll.
Yeah. The printing will matter a lot for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they have, especially with the nougats. I always get the nougat and medium nougat. On the mosaic, I actually realized that I was supposed to be using medium nougat for the brown character, and I had to use nougat, which is a hell of a lot brighter and
Yep.
really did not look right. And I'm like, why didn't I fix that a long time ago?
It's because they named one of the nougats before they had a lighter or a darker one to come out. So the one that's quote unquote medium isn't really medium.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice too. They also have gear reductions here.
Ooh.
From an 8-tooth gear to a 40-tooth gear, it gives you a 0.2 reduction or a 0.5 increase, or a 5-time increase. That's really nice. So yeah, they've got a bunch of stuff on here. They've got a measuring tool, for treads, measuring treads, axles, different snot techniques.
I bet it makes a lovely Christmas gift.
Rulers, regular ruler, and as well as rulers for, I would think that too. Rulers for how long your parts are.
So Jeff, when is it
Yeah.
coming out and how much?
Who cares? I'm still busy. Okay. Anyways, it is.
What if I want one now?
It's 80 centimeters by 40 centimeters, 32 inches by 16. Slightly narrower than the first version. The printed design is much the same, though just rearranged a bit and updated with new colors and parts. It is made of a squishier, thicker, more squishy material, 3 millimeters instead of 2. Also, these mats allow your parts to not move around. They kind of hold the parts better because there's a little more friction on them. And the color swatch at the top right is up to date with addition of reddish orange. While not all the colors are a close match to the LEGO colors, they are a useful guide and much better than they were on the version 1. So, I mean, you can see a slight difference. But, I mean, I think
Take
that's
my
enough.
money. When is it coming out?
Okay. It's normally priced at $45 US, but until Sunday, the 14th of June, Brickset readers can get it for $40.50 American when buying through this link related to the Rebrickable merch store. Shipping to the US and Canada is $9. Elsewhere, it's $16, again, American.
Ooh.
And I believe you just use there's a code to put in. I think that was up at the top. I thought I read it somewhere. Apply the code BRICKSET at checkout. That'll give you the $5-ish discount.
Top secret. Don't tell anybody.
Okay, I'm gonna buy this.
$4.50.
Gonna buy
It's
this.
a 10% discount, $4.50.
Buy this.
So yeah, I'm actually I got to do that too.
'Cause I don't have the first version, so
Yeah, I know. I
wondering-
think that's pretty handy.
and
I
for
mean-
my new Lego office,
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
What were you gonna say, Pat?
I was gonna say if they take it to conventions, you could just buy it at a convention, skip the shipping cost. But
Yeah, well, I mean,
That's
the
it.
one that we have is not Rebrickables mat though; it's a different mat.
correct, that is correct. Because while you were describing the features, I'm glancing over at the one I bought, and I'm like, that looks very different from the one I have.
Yeah, no, exactly. Hold on. I mean, here's an example of the one. Whoa, that really does wonders to the camera. Hold on, let's go full screen here. So this is the one that we got at from Mock Industries, and it's very thin. It's not that rigid. I don't use it that much, and it is just really a grid pattern and some measurements. But this one definitely looks much more usable.
I'm
So
buying this.
I have.
yeah, I'm gonna bite the bullet on that one too.
I have a very different one in my house, or at my Lego desk.
Hold on.
It's a red Detroit Red Wings mat.
Oh well, there you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
Take that, David St. Cyr.
Actually, I had Brandon and Jamie.
Did they make the playoff again? Don't remember.
Brandon and Janie and their Lego table, they've got like a gaming mat, like an actual like board game mat, which is like the full size of the table, and it was really great for keeping the parts on the table. They didn't move around so much. So
It's
I've
actually
been looking, but they're kind of expensive. So
the thing I like about this Red Wing thing is that it goes the entire length of the table. And I'm
Yeah.
looking. So
yeah,
like,
and that's what I would want. Like
if I pour out a bunch of like 1x1 rounds, I can push this color to this side and this, and so it gives me a large working area where things just don't bounce and fall off the top.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
nice.
All right. Next up, Lego is celebrating World Play Day for 2025. So the International Day of Play has been announced by Lego. They are putting the world in play mode by transferring urban cities into playful, immersive experiences. The cities targeted for this initiative include Boston, where their new U.S. headquarters is, Berlin, London, and Shanghai. For World Play Day, Lego has enlisted a global crew of creators to help bring these ideas to life. So we will be probably seeing some creators.
Yeah, that Diamond is in those creators.
The what?
Graham is in one of those creators.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, because
Cool.
I saw him posting some content about
Okay.
Play Day.
So I'm trying to look into here what the date is for it, because it doesn't actually mention that in the article. I'm scrolling through the press release looking for a date. So they're talking about Berlin, Boston, Shanghai, and London. It's a UNICEF and UNESCO co-hosted event. Wow, there's a lot in this thing, and it doesn't actually say when the date is. Let's click on the link for a minute.
Great article.
It is.
Get all the facts.
It has some animations. Put the world on. Okay, come on, give us an actual just date. That's all I need right now, guys. What is no? I don't want what. I want when is World Play Day?
When?
So there are. They have a meet the playmakers. I don't see Graham in this picture. I don't know.
When is this happening?
I don't know. It's probably easier to just type in.
It vexes me. It vexes me. Kirk.
Date. June 11th. Oh, haha, today. Apparently.
It was today. It was
well,
today. So we're
no,
recording old
No.
news now.
That's World Play Day. Is that what I had actually typed? Yeah, June 11th.
Obviously, it made a big impact on all of us.
Because I didn't even hear about it.
But
Like this is
like I said, I know that Graham posted something about it on his
Okay.
Facebook. So
well, we're all building today. So, and as Paul has said, hey, welcome by the way, Paul. Every day is World Play Day, but we've all played today, so that is good. All right, next up, Lego Bluey life-size statues have been revealed. These are just kind of adorable, even though, unlike
I don't
Mr.
even-
Sincere,
I've
Wow.
never seen Bluey before, but those are adorable.
they are adorable, and one of them is built out of Duplo.
Matt, you have to watch
Well-
Bluey at least once.
Okay.
At least like a few episodes.
I haven't watched it either, so but anyways,
You both need to watch Bluey at least a couple of episodes.
a few days ago, the official Bluey social media channel posted images of some Lego brick-built statues of Bluey and Bingo. The statues are made for over 3,400 Lego system and Lego Duplo bricks. Blue is made from 29, I'm guessing that's 29,224 bricks, while Bingo is made up of 5,306 bricks that are Duplo. And it took over 190 hours to create both of them. The two models will be displayed at Lego Bluey Ice Cream
Bingo is smaller.
The two models will be displayed. The two models will be displayed at the Lego Bluey Ice Cream pop-up event at Brisbane South Bank until Sunday, June the 8th. And I have a strong feeling that they will be coming to San Diego Comic-Con in the next month. It'll be displayed on the show floor. Sorry, what were you quietly saying in the background and distracting me, Mr. Sincere?
I said it's normal. Bingo is smaller because she's the smaller sister.
Yes. So therefore, she is Duplo. So.
Is it just me, or am I getting some very ET vibes from this head?
Put some ears on him, please. That looks weird.
He looks like a weird alien.
He does.
We have come to probe you. Where are
Grogu,
your beavers?
Grogu phone home. Grogu phone home.
Okay, we'll get the pressure. We'll watch it. Jeez. Anyways, so here's a shot of the Bluey Ice Creamery display, and that's it. Okay. Next up, Lego One Piece. So the main news article, the only news sets really this week, are the Lego One Piece sets. And I had caught, I think Jane did a review of them, and he was saying the total price for these sets is like $600+ US. So they're quite the collection. The biggest set I think is in the $200 range.
Wow.
Sorry?
Ouch.
Ouch, yeah. So Lego has officially revealed the highly anticipated Lego One Piece sets, which are based on the Netflix series show, which I did watch at least. Releasing August 1st, they are available for pre-order, although some of the pre-order sets have already stopped being available for pre-order. So I'm assuming they hit the maximum pre-order amounts. The sets are from the manga series. I'm not going to even attempt that name, which eventually became a live-action series on Netflix in 2023. I watched it. It was a little odd, but I did learn to like it. Like, you know what I mean? I grew to like it, I guess is the better way. The sets are based on various scenes from the show, such as Luffy's past at the Windmill Village, also known as Fushou Village, Buggy's tent battle, the fight at Arlong Park, and the arrival of the Barty restaurant, and the iconic Going Merry ship. Each set will randomly include one or more of the 8 collectible wanted posters featuring some of the pirates. So they are random. There are 8 posters, and this is one of the fun parts of the show. He's constantly looking at the poster, trying to get a higher reward for himself because he wants to be a bad pirate, or he wants to be a pirate that has the most
recognized pirate.
Yes, exactly. He's trying to get recognition. In addition to the sets, there are also in-store events, including a Gum Gum Fruit Make and Take. There is also a Lego One Piece poster as an insider's reward when purchasing the sets, and there are also 5 posters using insider points, 20 points each, starting on August 1st. So they've obviously done a whole bunch of tie-ins in here. There are 2 brickheads that are going to be available. The first one is Monkey D. Luffy himself. and also the Buggy one, which we'll get to in a moment. I thought it was going to be the next picture, but here we go. Buggy the Clown. I can zoom in a little bit here. And then we have all the different sets. Again, there's, I think, 6 sets in total. So the Windmill Village Hut, which the figures in these ones are very well done. Like, they look very much like the Netflix characters. So I can see a lot of people wanting these that are fans of the show. The Buggy the Clown Circus Tent set as well, $54.99 US. I haven't had a real chance to look at this for any new parts, and I haven't had a chance to look at the Discord channel yet either to see if there's anything new. But I'm going to assume that there are some newer parts in some of these sets. And I will try to figure that out before next week, or by next week, hopefully. Battle at Arlong Park for $79.99. And this set has a building that is collapsible, but it's collapsible in bigger sections. It's a 9+ set. So
aren't all Lego buildings collapsible though?
Well, this one is made to be broken apart on purpose. Yes, they're all collapsible.
I mean, let me just say, I have collapsed a large number of architecture sets in my time.
I'll go for that one, or yeah. The Going Merry pirate ship. Interesting thing is the prices of these sets are actually kind of reasonable considering the part per piece. Because it's a 1,376 piece set and it's $139, so that's like 10 cents a piece, almost dead on. So
I'm gonna say the flag is awesome.
The sale?
Look at that flag. I want that just for that flag piece.
Yeah. Well, $139. Cheers. So yeah, the pirate ship here, which comes with I think 4 or 5 characters, at least 4. Might be a 5th one. No, yeah, there's one up in the tower too. 5th, or the Belfry. No, I forgot what that's called. The Crow's Nest. That's what that's called. David is. Oh yeah, I was gonna say David isn't there, and then I realized, oh yeah, he just bent over. And the biggest set of all, which is the Barty Floating Restaurant, 3,402 pieces for $329.99 US. So again, if you watch the show, it's an iconic part of a few of the episodes. And there is a full back on it that's playable, or you can play it. It's not that deep, but it's still pretty cool looking. When I say it's not that deep, the walls are probably only 6 or 8 studs deep, but they do have like the bottom floor does come outside of the walls to give the main restaurant seating area a bit more of a nice play area, shall we say. So yeah. Looking forward to seeing some of the characters in that. Steve was saying he just watched E.T. recently. Cried the whole time. Important part of my childhood. Also, John Williams himself said the flying theme is one of his best. Just so good. So I have to say, and this will be controversial, I have never actually seen all of E.T.
What?
It came out when I was younger.
What?
I know. It came out when I was younger, and my parents thought, no, that one looks a little scary because they didn't know any better. So I never got to see it in the theater, and I just have never actually gotten to the chance to watch it.
Thanks for making me feel old, Jeff.
What? Well, when did E.T. come out? Does anybody know?
When I was like 14.
So what year would that have been?
I think like 83, 84 would be my guess.
So I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah, 83, I think. 83 or 84. That sounds.
June 11th, 1982. So the other thing is, we lived in the country. The movie theater was like a 30, 40-minute drive away. So we barely saw any movies as kids that in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
That just wasn't something my parents did because they didn't go to see movies. So I'm not blaming my parents. I'm merely saying, it's their fault. It's their fault. No.
It's Jeff's parents' fault.
I've caught up on most of the movies that I haven't seen. That's just one of them I never got a chance to get to. All right, Bricklink Designer 5, Designer Program Series 5 has been opened since yesterday for pre-orders.
Gentlemen, start your wallets.
Yeah, Lego. Start collecting your money, but technically the money won't be collected until the sets are shipped. But when they are shipped, Lego will be rolling in some dough. So there were 5 sets.
Rolling in the dough. Rolling in the dough.
There are 5 sets that are available, and this time around, they have increased the limits on some of the sets, and they haven't really said in here what the limits are, and it turns out they're variable based on the set. But I was able to figure it out because we know there's at least a minimum of 3,000 before they hit the funded stage. And when you go to the page, you can kind of figure out the math to what the funded amount is if you get into the source code, which I did because I can read source code.
I was told there would be no math.
There's a math. So just a quick.
Is it's on the test?
Just a quick refresh. We'll just go right here. I'll just make this. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Let me reset that. Let me zoom in.
There's
the
a
old-fashioned way.
spreadsheet.
Of course, there's a spreadsheet, man.
I love it.
Spreadsheet.
This is why we're friends.
Where's the banner? Spreadsheet.
I do want to make it a bit bigger though, because I'm trying
I
to.
actually have a hat pin that says I have a spreadsheet for that.
Too big. All right, first up we have the Thieves of Tortuga set. It's $429. Worry about these other numbers in a few minutes. And there's 4,002 pieces, so I did a price per part as well at 11 cents. Next up we have the Mushroom Village, $269.99, about 11 cents per piece there. The Antique Shop, these are Canadian prices by the way, $199.99, 10 cents per piece. The Adventures in Transylvania for $449.99. This is the largest set at 4,000 pieces, and the most expensive set as well. And last up is the Popcorn Popcorn Wagon at $69.99 for 12 cents a piece. It's actually the cheapest set, but the highest price per piece. If you go to the actual Lego website or to the Bricklink Designer Program website, which luckily is linked right here, we can see that they haven't sold out yet. And I'm just double checking that. The closest one is the Transylvania, the most expensive set because it's castle based, and it's getting almost to the end. But as I was looking at the page, I was noticing that the funded marks are not all the same. I don't know if you can see the difference. Let me zoom in a little bit more. The lines, like here, the line's pretty short, and here it's a little bit longer, and here it's about the same as this guy. This one's even shorter. And I was like, huh. So I looked into the source code. It turns out that these are funded at different percentages. So this line appears at a different percentage on the 0 to 100 scale bar here. So I, pulling into the source code, I discovered that the Thieves of Tortuga is at that bar is at 7.5%. The Mushroom Village is at 10%, which basically means at 100, if 3,000 is 7.5%. The Thieves of Tortuga has 40,000 sets available, so 10,000 above. Yeah. The Mushroom Village is still 30,000. The Antique Shop also 30,000. The Adventures in Transylvania is 6%, where that bar is listed. So that means there's 50,000 of these sets available. So they've not doubled it, but almost doubled it. 10,000 off of doubling it. And the Popcorn Wagon is also at 30,000. So that explains why things haven't sold out yet, because there is another 30,000 in sets, 30,000 copies of sets between the the castle set and the pirate set. But then that led me into the let's do the math and figure out how much money Lego is making on this. Coincidentally, I'll say it again. The commission. The person who creates these sets, the fan who designed these sets, and they get accepted, they get a 5% commission of every set sold. So I broke it down by 5% of $429 is $21.50. So every set that's sold for this set, that guy is going to get $21.50 for the set. Coincidentally, the Adventures in Transylvania. Sorry, Steve. You lost me with the math spreadsheets. Anyway, the end result is important. The Transylvania set is the guy gets $22.50 per set. At 50,000 sets, I'm clicking on the wrong screen. At 50,000 sets, this set has the potential to give the designer around 1.2 million Canadian. Oh, Grogu has ears, and is upside down, and is eating frogs. So I was also able to determine, as of about an hour or two ago, what the percentages of these sets were at. So I know roughly how many sets Lego has already reserved, or people have reserved. But in the long run, Lego.
In the long run, we're all dead.
In the,
quote,
yeah,
quote
we're
a
all
very
going to die
famous
eventually. We're all
congresswoman.
going to be dead. Yes. Nice, Matt. Well done. Currently, Lego has sold 39,500,000 Canadian worth of sets, or has, crowdfunded 39,500,000. In US, that works out to 28,000 or 28,800,000. The designers, on a whole, are getting currently about $1.9 million. Broken down by the Thieves of Tortuga is about $630,000. The designer of the Mushroom Village will get about $182,000 currently.
Dang.
The Antique Shop will get $112,000 because that one hasn't sold a lot yet, because that one's only sold 37%. The Transylvania set is currently at about $970,000, so this guy's going to break $1 million easily. And that's at, like I said, 86%. And the Popcorn Wagon, the cheapest set, this guy's already slated to get 81 million. Or 81,000, sorry.
I gotta
81
start-
million.
81
My,
million.
my retirement plan is to get really into castle designing.
I'm like, when the next Bricklink Designer Program thing starts up, maybe I really should do one. Just
You should.
even if it doesn't get voted. I mean, anyways. And in previous,
Since you're good with Bricklink Designer and
well, I'm semi good. But the other thing we had calculated in our last time we talked about this was, if Lego has got, say, 20% of the set price goes to the costs associated with it, what their profit would be. And Lego's profit, based on 20% going to costs, because the design is being done by the Bricklink designer, not by Lego. So I would say, based on 20% costs, Lego stands to make 30 plus million Canadian on the sets that have already sold. And potential sales, so if they sell everything at 100%, Lego, the Lego will make 55 million off of this program alone.
Just a drop in Lego's corporate profit.
40 million US, yeah. Well, I mean, it is just a drop, and Dave will tell you that.
definitely, if you're making billions in
Yeah.
profit, that's just pocket change for you.
It is. And just out of curiosity, if we were to take that $22.50 commission times it by the 50,000 sets, $1.124 million is what the Transylvania Castle Builder might get. Now, I don't know if they get 20% of the entire set. I think that's what they said, 5% of the sale. So technically, what's that in Imperial credits? It's I was about to say Latinum, but then I realized that's Star Trek, and I screwed
You're
it up.
crossing the nerddom.
A Beskar. I wanted to say Beskar. It's a few Beskar bars. We'll say that. But yeah, so imagine designing a Lego set.
And making it
Getting
like
it in
more
the
than
Bricklink Designer Program.
more
Now,
than your year's salary in
you could pay off your house and probably still have some money, even at the cheaper sets, right? Like maybe not for this one. This guy's currently only going to get, what did I say? 325,000, I think. Oh, 81,000, is that what it was? Yeah, 81,000. But I mean, that pays your mortgage for a couple of years easily, right? Like you could. It's like, oh my god.
It's yeah, like the average salary in Canada is about, I think, $45,000 or $50,000. So
yeah, so a year and a half worth of salary just for spending
for
like
the
a couple
average
of days.
Canadian, the average, not like
Yeah.
lower or
Regardless, if your set gets chosen, yes, there's probably a lot of work involved to get your set ready through the program, but you're definitely, if it sells, you're definitely going to be making that money back and earning what you spent on it, right?
Yeah.
All right,
so-
Jeff, you need to submit a castle, and Dave, you need to submit a helicopter.
Yes, Dave. Dave needs to submit a helicopter.
Yeah, but
because-
helicopters don't sell.
I mean, there's no accounting for taste, but you know.
Anyways, last up. Oh, I actually forgot to close this tab. That's funny. Did I actually finish? Yeah, I did finish. Okay. I'd opened a new elementary tab and I forgot to close that main tab. There was one new elementary article as well for the Friends Family Beach Resort sets and the travel boat. And we tend to look at these for some of the new parts. And only the new parts, really. We don't really care about the builds, let's be honest. They are fun builds, but there is a new sail piece, a new foil sheet for the sails. We have some nice recolors of the arches and slopes and bars. Matt sometimes likes these ones too because it's like, hey, Matt, here's the new parts coming in. New gets 16 by 16 base plates, or 16 by 16 plates, not base plates. My apologies. Some new gets 1 by 4 plates with two studs. These are all recolors. Yeah, that was obvious because we obviously have these parts. There's a new decorated dolphin, the sticker sheet, and then the mini dolls, and then some rarer elements. The black 6 by 6 by 3, I think that is windscreen, or 1 by 6 by 3. Yeah, windscreen in black, which is a rare element for sure. I don't think I've ever seen one of those in black, and a few other parts here as well. So, and that's it. We don't really care much about builds, but yeah, I think that's the news. Wow, it was kind of
Done
fun.
with the news. What are
Okay,
gonna
we can go to
talk
bed
about?
early.
We can go to bed early. We can build. We can build more.
Speaking of which,
Hi, Grogu.
and look, he has a snack.
I didn't want that.
It's a frog.
Oh, does he have a frog? Oh, he's got one of the. Oh, that's awesome.
It's a little frog snack. Although it doesn't really attach very well to his 3 fingers.
Tiny hands.
Well, he's
That's
not
'cause
supposed to hold it. He's supposed
it's
to
supposed to
eat
be in
it.
his mouth. Yeah.
Well, according to the picture, like honestly,
And
his
and
arms-
and
his arms
often
can't
he
even
doesn't
reach-
hold them. He uses the force to put them in his
This
mouth.
is true.
his hand doesn't even reach his mouth. So,
That's because he uses the force. We just went there.
so it also comes with these. Why does Grogu get 2 poker chips? I don't understand.
Maybe those are eggs.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Maybe, although they're not
Egg.
really that round. But
Yeah, they're not. They could have given us the actual egg piece in a color or something.
Stever is also saying you guys are older than me, so probably too old to watch the VHS over and over and over like me. If we had the VHS, we didn't have many movies either. We rented the VHS player for many years, or the Betamax at that point, and we'd rent a movie. But sometimes my brother and sister, who are much older than me, at 6 and 8 years, would rent movies that I wasn't allowed to watch. Not because they were dirty, but just because they were,
Some of us are the
Speaking of
laser
lasers, what?
disc
Sorry?
generation.
What was that, Matt?
Some of us are the laser disc generation. I'll bet he doesn't even know what that is.
Oh, jeez.
Laserdisc was like an enormous CD that you could watch a movie on. That was lost out to VHS, basically.
Steve was asking also if those were macaroons, maybe. Although I don't think Grogu ate many macaroons.
They do kind of look like macaroons, though.
Well, maybe.
Macarons.
Les macarons. Paraît qu'ils sont bons.
Make him a mug of hot chalky instead. So yeah. Oh, I can stop talking for a few moments.
So that's it with the news.
That's it for the news. Yeah, it was actually a pretty quiet week.
This was in the news.
So, Dave, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Where'd you get your hat?
Where did I get that one? I think I got that one off. I don't remember.
Was it Bricomini? Was it somebody selling it there?
No, it was online. I did order it online. I think it
Okay.
was from one of these places that sell the T-shirts and
It's a good logo. Like they got the logo is a good cut. The base of the hat is a nice red color, which I like,
yeah.
and the logo is a nice size. Like it fills the brim pretty well. So it's whoever made it did a good job, I think.
Axel's requesting we stay on for another hour because it's 4:30 where he is. It's starting to get light outside, so if we keep him awake for another hour, then he's good.
Please tell me you didn't wake up at 3:30 in the morning just to watch
Nice.
us.
Oh, hey, that's actually coincidental that the spaceship here actually went from the back view to the front view. This is not my design. This is by someone on the web. I forget who it was. I'll be honest. But it
You're
looks absolutely
stealing
gorgeous.
someone else's work.
No, I just grabbed a picture. Well, I saved the picture. And Stever is saying that he is saying, bruh, I have a non-functional Laserdisc player in all 3 Star Wars movies on Laserdisc.
Oh,
Would they have been original, or was that after Lucasfilms, after Lucas recut them? And
yeah. Or
he-
did hand shot first?
Okay,
Yeah.
I can answer this because the theatrical release of Star Wars came out on Laserdisc because somebody ripped a copy of it and burned it to a CD and gave it to me because it has the original hand shoots first. So if you cannot buy the actual theatrical release after like 1997. So you had to get a bootleg copy of the Laserdisc.
Yeah, I regret getting rid of my.
I actually
VHS
still
tape.
own. I actually still own my VHS tapes with
Do you have
all
a player?
3 movies. Oh, yes, I do have a
Okay,
player.
just checking.
So
Our player died.
I have my 3 original movies with hand shooting first, and no special effects added. And
Is that the way your room's actually laid out, Dave?
yeah,
Okay, because
No.
Axel, it's backwards. Because Axel was saying is the classic logo.
right now my class. You see my classic
Your
Space
logo is correct. Yeah, is it
Okay,
correct?
yeah,
So it is,
that's the correct layout of the room.
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Yeah, I might have mirrored you one point because like point towards me right now. Yeah, see, you naturally like when I right now
Yeah.
if I point, I'm pointing the wrong way. Like in my screen, you're on this side, right? So that's why we tend to like if I mirror myself, anyways, I have the ability to mirror him, so that's why it's. I'm assuming Matt, your hat is the right way. He has to check. You're not mirrored, so
Yes.
Okay.
I think I flipped my camera a month ago or something.
Yeah. So anyway, and Maxwell has been awake all night. Laserdiscs are the closest you can get to the theater release, apparently.
Yep.
Wouldn't digital be more theater?
Yeah, right now, everything is digital.
Yeah, but I'm
theaters
saying
actually get the movies through email.
They're not
something
the
like
theatrical release. Like what Lucasfilm put out, even digital, is edited. It's not what we saw in the theater.
Oh, but he's talking about the closest you can get to theater release.
Correct.
Apparently. Sorry, I was thinking quality of
the Laserdisc. The version that's on the Laserdisc is the closest to what you saw in the movie theater in 1977.
There's going back to Grogu. There's a scene where Grogu eats the blue cookies and then vomits.
I can't believe they didn't give us the Grogu vomit. I mean, that's
Grogu vomit.
Oh, geez. You know what I didn't actually talk about was the work I was doing on my. Let's take that off. On this guy, I was saying I was working on the layout, so I'm starting to work on the lower level. I got a little access door at the far end, and these aren't locked together. That's why I'm trying to figure out a support system so that because this will be on the lowest level, and I want to be able to have kids look inside, but I also want to use the edge of this as a support system. So I was trying to figure out if I could do like a little X-framed grid system. You know what I mean, like supports. But right now, if I go back up, like if I complete those V's into diamonds, it's actually going to be higher than the track level at the next layer, like the higher than the roof. So I have to figure this out. But this is exactly a 16 stud V. like from end to end. So that would work nicely across all the base plates, that there would be 2, and hopefully it would give enough view through it. But that's kind of what I'm wrestling with now. Ugh. And holding this straight. But anyway, so this is I don't even know where this is going to get displayed. This might be a Bricks in the Six showing. Probably not Brickameni, because I'm bringing the castle to Brickameni. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it
Did you
gets shown.
register your mock for Bricomini?
So I have a question out to Etienne. I messaged him earlier this week. So if you're watching this later, Etienne, I'm not pressuring you. I'm just, fix it. When you go to register your mock, it has description of, tell us the size of it, tell us this, tell us that. Like basically, normally when we register a mock, it's like the name, the description you want on the mock card, like separate fields, the size of it, and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's like 1 or 2 fields. It's not like it's 1 field to register your mock. And I'm like, how do you want this laid out? Like that to me seems like a lot of work for you guys, for them to go in now and separate that out. So, and it's a Google form, so you should be able to maximize
separate the fields.
And also, you can only register 1 mock. Like you go through the whole process of registering, and it has 1 mock that you can register.
Ooh.
So there isn't multiple, like add another mock or anything like that. So it's a little bit confusing. So I just let them know. It's limiting. That's a better word for it. Because I would like to bring 2 mocks, which would be the castle and the Classic Space Mosaic. And I wish I could bring more, but probably not. But because it'll take.
I don't even know what I'm going to bring right now.
Yeah, well, with the time frame that we have, I probably will be rushed to set both of them up. Like I'll be probably setting up on the Saturday morning before we go public starts, but we'll have to see how it goes. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to see you, Mr. Sincere, because I have some pieces for you.
Yeah, I have to find yours.
Yeah, I have a bag. I don't even remember what you had in mind.
Rushing to sort everything out
Yeah.
I have to find you guys your pieces.
I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you, but I know what yours were. But
I was going to ask, do you remember what
we could probably go back to the discussion thread in our chat from months ago, years ago.
Definitely, I'll do that.
I don't know, but anyway,
I just want to say that I'm seeing lots of Instagram, social media posts from people going to Brickworld, and I'm just a little bit jealous.
Yeah, Brickworld is this weekend. It's already started tonight. I guess it started today. I've been watching, like Simon Liu already left before the weekend to go to Brickworld, and I was like, oh crap, yeah. I also found it or realized it's Father's Day weekend this weekend, and I'm not going to be home well, anyways, my kids aren't with me this weekend anyhow, but.
How close are you to empty nester?
Well, I mean, my son is 18, turning 19 this year, and my daughter is just turned 17. So
you're pretty close.
Well, I like there's still the college years type thing.
That doesn't count. Like they're not living there, and I know that your son is the one.
Already, my son. Well, I mean, already even when my son's here, he's out of the house with his friends quite often anyhow, like on the weekends and stuff. But yeah,
you're going to need to chat like 3 nights a week because you're going to have nobody to talk to at home because you work from home.
Well, I mean, like going down that trail of thoughts, like I would probably wait till my kids are kind of settled into where they're going to be, like post grad school type thing, post graduation, where they have figured out where the jobs are, and then I might try and settle close to wherever that might be.
Well, all the jobs are in Toronto. So.
Well, I work. My office is in Toronto, and I don't leave Peterborough to go to it. So
you're also in an unusual field, though. You're in
well, not unusual, but yeah, they might be moving back in after college. This is possible, but if that's the point, then they can come move in wherever I'm living at that point.
They can sleep on the couch, Deaver. That gives them
Oh, my
incentive.
son, actually this week he didn't, but my son was over this weekend, and normally he just passes out on the couch just because he's gaming. But this weekend, because we were up, like he works Monday to Friday, and he's up at like 5 or 6 in the morning because he's doing outside work, so they start pretty early. And then on the weekend, we were both up at 7 o'clock in order to go do the cadet stuff. He when he was ready for bed, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to go to bed now." I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." He was falling asleep before me and like going to his bedroom for once. But normally he just passes out on the couch, which I don't care about because he's here, so that's the important part.
At that
And
age,
usually, Hmm?
at that age, they can sleep anywhere.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Yeah,
And they don't get up and get all stiff because they didn't sleep in their bed in
yeah,
the right position.
in the right position. Yes.
They don't get
Like
injured in their sleep.
we all the guys do.
Yeah, they don't wake up with sore necks when they realize that they slept slightly on an angle.
I think I need a new pillow because I woke up 3 times this week where like my fingers were kind of like asleep and I had to keep doing this to like wake up my fingers. And Thomas is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the rest of my body's awake, but my fingers are still like fuzzy." And
Yeah.
he's like, "You need a new pillow," and I'm like, "Yeah, I need a new pillow."
My girlfriend will fall asleep, and like usually I have my arm underneath her neck, and when she falls asleep, she always tends to just go for the crook of the elbow right in there and puts weight there. So like halfway through the night, my hand is like not got any blood going through it anymore, and I'm like, ah. So we've figured out now that it's just before we actually fall asleep, let's move that hand. But speaking of the I was mentioning earlier that we were having the comments about tweezers, and I bought a kit off of Amazon years ago or last year. That's like a multi tweezer set, and it's pretty nice because it has a bunch of different ones. But I keep that here at my desk. And yeah, that's a random comment, but we were talking about that earlier, so and I just saw it sitting here. Oh, did I talk about the glowing light? Love it. Did I talk about the Batman last week? This little polybag? I don't remember if I did.
I know we talked about it, but I don't know
Yeah.
if we talked about it online or offline.
Yeah, I don't remember. I bought this last year. Last year it came out, I think in November, December in 2023, and last year 2024, I was walking through Brick Fair or Atlanta BrickCon, and I saw a polybag sitting on one of the vendors things, and it was $15 US, and I was like, oh, I got to get that because I haven't been able to find it anywhere. And the next day I walked into a Target and they were there for $5, and I was like, dope, because I overpaid for it. But I ended up building it, and I really do love that cape that he comes with.
Yeah,
the cape of this one is absolutely amazing. So I'm glad I bought it. Sure, I paid too much for it. I did buy that second one, so I'm selling that for a little bit more on my Bricklink store. But yeah, I'd also found this little kit in my bin of sets that I was thinking of selling, and this is just the little e-bike scooter charging station thingy, which is kind of cute. This was one of those minifig shaped packs that just had the cardboard backing, and I got it because I have these little scooters, I guess. But anyways, I figured I'd keep that and build it. So, isn't it great when you can turn off your alarm because your arms are wet? Oh, you can't turn off your alarms because your arms are wet noodles. Yes.
Sorry, boss, I'm late
Pretty
because I
much.
couldn't turn off my alarm.
I have to also say that working from home is like the best thing because it's like, I wake up in the morning or I go to bed at night and I'm like, do I need to go to the grocery store tomorrow to get any groceries or anything? No. Turn my alarm off and just wake up at like 8 or 9 and saunter downstairs and start working. So much nicer.
I've reached old man status where even if I want to sleep in, sometimes I can. I just wake up.
Oh, I have the problem of if I wake up, I'm awake.
Yeah.
Right. And so like I'll wake up at usually I wake up between 8 or 7:30 and 8:30 because that's usually when my alarm goes off at 7:30 and I snooze the crap out of it for an hour. But yeah, even if I turn my alarm off, I still wake up by 8:30.
But if your arms were asleep, you couldn't turn off your alarm.
Well, yes, you can. It's just you yell out pause or snooze.
You sell Siri alarm.
You sell Siri? What? What'd you say? You what?
Siri, turn off alarm.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
What?
It's not Siri here, but yes.
One of my friends uses his smart thing for timing things in the kitchen. It'll be like, set timer for 8 minutes. And when we switched, we bought a new furnace 2 years ago, and we got like remote control things, but they're not voice activated, so
okay.
I can't talk to it. But
yeah, I mean, I have a Nest. I've a Google-based system, and then a Nest thermostat, which is great because I can, like, I just heard the air conditioner come on, so if I want, I can just say, "Hey G, turn off the air conditioner, or reset the temperature, or that type of stuff," which is handy for sure. And Steve was always saying he always wakes up right before his alarm, no matter what time it is. Yeah, I'm the same. Or I'll wake up and it's like, oh, it's only 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought it was a lot later, so at that point, it's like, luckily you can fall asleep. But
I have
Google set temperature to freeze.
Yeah,
I have a very good internal clock, and I would say, okay, like, I need to wake up at 8, and a lot of times I'll wake up at 7:45 and be like, I look over at my phone, I'm like, okay, yeah.
And is part of that also just you're worried that you're going to miss the alarm or that you didn't set it? Like I always.
No, I mean, sometimes I just set it because, like, I don't want to sleep too long, and I'll say, okay, I'll set it for 2 hours. But I usually will wake up on my own. I'm pretty good about that. But
I have the problem, like, occasionally on Sundays we'll have implementations for work, and they start at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'll go to bed at 10 or 11 or maybe even 12 some nights, and I'll set the alarm for that. But in your brain, it's like, is that alarm actually going to go off, right? So I always seem to wake up either a few minutes before or like an hour before, and it's like, oh, really? Check the alarm. Yeah, it's still set. Okay.
You guys are too anxious. I set my alarm, and it's my alarm that wakes me up every time because
I don't set an alarm at 3 a.m. normally though. So anyway.
Yeah.
You also have like younger kids running through the house, so your alarm could be them as well.
Yeah.
My cat.
They're older, so I just set the TV and they watch TV and.
Yes. Oh, geez. Anyways, shall we call it a night?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Axel, that we can't go any longer. But hopefully it's bright enough outside that you don't have to worry about falling asleep. Oh, he's landing the ship. Dave, really, come on, get a helicopter already. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. We will see you next week, and have a good weekend. And we'll talk to you later.